The National Theatre's first Travelex £10 play for 2009 is England People Very Nice. It's a story set through 4 periods of immigration from the 17th century to today. An ensemble group of 22 actors all play the 4 separate cultures as they enter the chaotic world of Bethnal Green, each new influx provoking a surge of violent protest over housing, jobs, religion and culture. And the emerging pattern shows that white flight and anxiety over integration is anything but new. The play is directed by Nicholas Hytner.
I'd wanted for a long time a big, expansive play from Richard Bean and had been encouraging him to think of a play for the Olivier Theatre. And he came up with this idea. He pitched it exactly as it's turned out. A comic epic about 4 waves of immigration into Bethnal Green, 4 acts, funny, irreverent, scabrous even. And as soon as he came up with that idea, the idea that the same group of actors might play the French, the Irish, the Jews and the Bangladeshis and the indigenous English, it sounded so wild I thought, yeah, let's go ahead.
Nick, do you want us overlapping the line to get here?
Yes.
And then pick up on the end of the line.
So I think it's going to be fine. I don't mind the overlap at all.
The setup for the play is that we're in an immigration centre, and as a citizenship project, 22 asylum seekers are putting on a play under the direction of a well-meaning theatre director who's been seconded to make this devised piece with them.
My character, initially, I'm the director of the play. And so somewhere along the line, this character, Philippa, has been given an arts grant to go into this place and do this piece. And she's learnt a lot along the way. And she's having for her worthiness, she's now having an insight into what it's really like for people who have been persecuted.
England People Very Nice is written by playwright Richard Bean. Originally from Hull, he spent 4 years living and writing in Bethnal Green.
What I experienced when I lived here was a very scratchy place to live. There's a sense of tribalism. So you look at it with a kind of social psychologist's eye and you kind of think, why are these things happening? What's going on? And of course, when you look back at the history, you look at the French Huguenots, the Irish and the Jewish when they came, and you do your research, and you discover that all those same things happened. And what happens is that there is competition on housing, competition on jobs, and there is objection to culture. And all those 3 areas just repeat.
There are plays about weighty topics like immigration and Britishness, which, with great effectiveness, treat the subject with a very straight face. This play doesn't treat it with a straight face at all.
I suppose what's difficult nowadays is to write about culture and race and those kind of issues is actually quite delicate and quite sensitive now because of the history of the whole situation, I suppose, and because of the orthodoxy of multiculturalism, which we all accepted before it was challenged by Trevor Phillips, ironically. I think the issue here is, if you're a living writer, what do you write about? I tend to always want to write about society and how we live together. It's just pretty much the only issue there is.
Heroes! The Indian Lascars! The engine room of the British Merchant Navy standing shoulder to shoulder with us in the fight against what's her name?
Totalitarianism.
The play is as much as any play I've ever done, an ensemble piece for 22 actors, all of whom take on a lot of parts. There are 2 parts which go right through 2 young lovers who reappear in different guises in every single act, played by Michelle Terry and Sacha Dhawan. Both of them young, both of them relatively inexperienced, and both of them extraordinarily skilled.
Anyone dick it. Lovely eyes.
I bet you say that to all the girls.
Yes, I do, but with you, I'm not lying.
Number 13?
13 lucky with Mr. Mushy. This better be proper chocolate. All right.
Michelle has to play French, Irish, upper-class English and Cockney, and Sacha Dhawan has to play Norfolk, Italian, Russian Jewish, and Bangladeshi. That's kind of ticking off most of the globe.
Sacha Dhawan first appeared at the National in Alan Bennett's The History Boys. This latest role is his first for the Olivier stage.
There's two hurdles I'm facing. Well, with The History Boys, it was great. It was a great opportunity. And I had a bit to do, but I didn't have as much to do as in this. Secondly, I'm playing characters I don't think I'll ever get to play, which is the point of the play. It's totally colourblind casting.
This address is old guys. England people very nice. There's good and bad in all.
Brick Lane Mosque is obviously iconic as a building which tells the story of each wave of immigration. It was built by the French Huguenots, Protestants, as a church, obviously. They did a deal with the Truman Brewery that they could keep beer in the basement. Very canny, very French Huguenot. Then it became a Methodist chapel. Then, with the Pale Jews arriving from Poland and Russia, it became a synagogue. When the Bangladeshis arrived after the Second World War, it became a mosque. I think it's the only building in Britain that has been church, synagogue and mosque.
The play features a string of animation sequences that develop the story arc and play a vital role in shaping the theatrical staging.
Animation can become very illustrative and slow in a sense. And what I tried to do was keep going with under Nick's direction, the pace of the play, and to maintain a bit of visual interest, strong visual interest when there's nothing there's no actors against it in a sense, and then lesser when it has to interact. Nick wanted some of the actors to talk, so I went for what I would call the Monty Python photo collage look as well, and then I've used a lot of the reality that exists in Bethnal Green in terms of windows, doors, real pictures of the churches, houses, graffiti, the bagel bake. I've tried to bring to it things that exist and exist now, but did exist in 1748.
As an Indian actor, to be at the National, have such a substantial role. In my career so far, I don't think I've known anybody who's had the chance to do that on such a grand scale on the Olivier, and it's a real honour.
I come England one reason. Father say must find half Christian, half Jewish girl, make twins. This decreed by Allah.
I could do a play that's been done before and it's fine, but to do something new that an audience has never seen, and secondly, seeing something that, like you said, deals with today's issues, is incredibly exciting, and it's so nice. I'm kind of looking forward to actually to create that debate and see and really bring out people's attitudes. And I think it's so important because it's fine seeing a piece of theatre, but then it's more exciting seeing a piece of theatre that you're going to go away and you're going to think about it, or you might even be outraged by it. I think it's very exciting.
All the complaints that you might hear now about immigration and people coming over, it's nothing new. It's always happened, and it's sticking two fingers up at people who are complaining about it. None of us, and we had a show of hands, can anybody say that all 8 grandparents are pure English? Nobody could. No, none of us are pure English.
This is a place of work, and smoking is illegal. If you want to smoke, go back to Serbia, where I imagine it's still compulsory. Now, I'm not doing notes.
It's really thought-provoking, We've all been trying to work out what Richard, the writer, has been trying to say. That all of these waves are shocking at the time, but they're all the same. Nothing new is different to what's happened before. But we wonder if maybe he is saying that it is different. But we've been working on it and we're still discussing it.
You go to a dinner party and you start talking about immigration. You're the right-wing nutter. And that's got to go. We have to talk about the economy, we talk about football, we talk about immigration, we talk about Britishness. We've got to lose that, or else we won't be able to